Anime cliches. There are so many of them now that it'd give me an actual headache if I tried to list them all. But these cliches in particular, I just cannot stand. Hello everyone, this is the RPG Monger, and today I want to talk about anime cliches, explicitly shonen anime cliches. Now, I've seen my fair share of shonen anime, maybe even a little bit too much at this point, so I'd like to think that I have some authority on the subject to rant on it like I'm about to. So anyways, may the rant begin. Now, to start things off, let's talk fanservice. When I first started watching anime years ago, fanservice for sure did not bother me as much as it does now. Though after seeing it so many times in so many anime, it honestly gets annoying, especially when they don't even try to hide it. And when you very well know that the entire reason that a particular character is in an anime is literally just for fanservice and nothing more. Even if they give the character a little backstory later on, most of the time it still isn't enough to mend the already existing faults due to all of the overused fanservice. Like, I swear, in the future, anime is just gonna have god-awful quality except for boob physics and panty shots. Mark my words. Though don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all fanservice is bad. If you don't make it the central focus of a character or just limit how much you do it, it's fine. In this situation, I'd have to say that subtlety is truly key. Next up is everyone's favorite, plot armor. Whether it be a hero who never experiences any sort of loss or if they just can't die, plot armor can get really annoying. If you want to see me talk about that in full, you should check out my last video. Now, to name a specific anime, I'd have to say the first season of SAO is probably the embodiment of this cliche, with Kirito being the light novel protagonist that he is, getting all the girls and winning all the fights. Sure, there may be some strife here and there, but at that point, you know nothing is gonna come from it anyways. Not to mention all the other crappy cliches in the anime, but we'll save that for another time. Now, something that's been becoming more popular in recent years, and I'm sure most of you are aware of it by now, are the otaku subplots that seem to be everywhere now. And sometimes they're even the main focus. This is nothing new though, since it's been an anime for a while now, and don't get me wrong, there are countless anime that have this cliche, though some of them turn out pretty good. For example, Re:Zero and Konosuba to name a few. Though, a good portion of the time, it just gets to the point where it just becomes annoying if they rely on it too much. Take Chaos Head for example, an anime whose protagonist isn't even remotely likable due to them making his entire character that he's just a wimpy otaku. Like, I guess the point of it all is for the audience to relate in some way, but honestly, it's a complete and utter miss. Now, this is one of the few cliches that can completely ruin a character for me in a matter of moments. That cliche is just being overly cute or trying way too hard to be. Cuteness is like taking NyQuil. If you take the right amount, you'll be fine, but if you take too much, you'll be out cold on the floor. Paired with fanservice, this is probably the easiest way to get me to stop watching a show, since it can only get worse from there. An example of a character like this would have to be Nico from Kisniver. Overall, Kisniver was a really good anime and one of the better ones from last year, but I swear, Nico was just so annoying, though enough on that. Now, like with some of these previous cliches, I'm fine with this when it's not the only character trait to a character, but when the entirety of a character is just, "It's not like I like you or anything, but stupid," followed by the protagonist getting kicked. In case you don't know, I'm talking about tsunderes. Honestly, there's just so much of that a human can take without falling over and passing out. Like, I'd say that 50% of shonen romance/slice-of-life anime have tsundere in them. I'm just tired of it, you know? And on a more broad scale, all of the overused character archetypes can just wear you down when they're all that's used to define a single character. Now that, my friends, is just lazy writing. Oh ho ho, now we're getting into the deep shit. Now, we're gonna talk about harems in anime. I cannot tell you how many times I strap in to binge watch a series only for it to have a crappy forced harem that doesn't even go anywhere in the end. Like, alright, to have a harem is one thing, but at least let it resolve or go somewhere instead of being in limbo for the entire time or having the resolution being, "I love you all equally," or just the protagonist being too ignorant to notice anything in the end. The worst part about all this is in actuality, these kinds of anime end up getting popular and people actually like them. And yes, I'm sure there may even be good ones out there, but from what I've seen, it's just tiring and doesn't even really have a purpose, other than an excuse to have some scandalous fan service. Nothing like a good rant on cliches. And believe me, I could go on for hours ranting on this shit, since I basically have no semblance of a life. Though, to limit the amount of hate that I'm going to get from this video, let me say this. All of these cliches, if done right and not overdone, are fine, and are sometimes barely noticeable when blended in with the plot. But overall, sometimes I just cannot handle these cliches. Maybe I should just go watch some One Piece to clear my head. Yes, I know, I'm a hypocrite. So anyways, if you're new and you enjoyed this video, do subscribe, and today's cool thing of the day is Twin Star Exorcist. A perfect example of a show that may have some cliches, but still turns out to be an amazing anime, and who knows, you may see me talk about it again in the near future. Though, that being said, I'm the RPG Monger, and don't forget that each and every one of you are fantastic.